Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Fake Philosophers.
Oh,
I am one of
stop,
your
stop, stop.
What the fuck?
I'm
What?
not recording. We didn't do our claps, dude.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I felt that was a strong intro too. I felt
that
good
was
about
so good, dude. That was so good.
it. All right.
All right,
Start.
I'm recording.
Hey, fuck. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Fake Philosophers. I am one of your hosts, Mike, and with me today is the one and only Danny, my clone with glasses.
Hi. I'm his clone with glasses.
Yeah. And a little less thick beard than I do have right now.
Yes, yeah, no, I trim up.
Yeah, my beard's a little thicker right now.
But hey, the ladies like the thickness, Mike. They're down with the thickness.
They are down with the thickness. So I hear. Mm-hmm. All right, Dan, do we have any current events we want to talk about today, or?
I mean, there's this little thing that happened today. The former president was indicted in another case. This one being the alleged stolen documents, and I say alleged because they haven't proven anything yet. Like, he did have the documents, but until he's convicted, we're being fair. He was indicted on 7 criminal charges in this classified documents case. The charges include false statements, conspiracy to obstruct, and willfully retaining documents in violation of the Espionage Act. Ooh.
Okay.
He has been summoned to appear in court in Miami on Tuesday. He is currently seeking, and we already know that. He did say that he would surrender himself. But if he's convicted in this case, it probably won't happen that he would face, because he violated the Espionage Act. There can be a death sentence there for treason.
He won't get that.
He won't get that though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just curious. I mean, I think, me and you are of the same mind about this. Where it's like, you know what, I'll believe it when I see it. If any kind of, consequence happens or anything.
Yeah. I mean, let's be real. And as much as the petty side of me would love to see Trump actually behind prison, I don't really give a fuck if he's in prison or not. The main thing is, I think, with Trump is just simply consequences for your actions.
Yeah. Which is
and
something
whatever
he's
those
not familiar
consequences
with
are,
at
yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, and me and you always tend to talk about these topics, and like, conveniently, Mitch isn't here.
Mitch isn't here, yeah.
Because Mitch is the conservative on the program. But I think even Mitch, like, a lot of people think, a lot of conservatives, I would say, think, I wouldn't even say conservatives, a lot of the MAGA conservatives would say the whole witch hunt story, this is all bullshit. Mm-hmm. And they'd say there's no precedent for this. And it's like, yeah, well, Donald Trump wasn't a president that had precedent. He set a lot of new precedents and set a lot of new goalposts to where goalposts is the wrong term, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, he's brought in new inputs, so we can't be surprised by the new outputs.
Yeah.
And I mean, as you said, and this is I want to be clear. I dislike Trump, and we could talk about this because I think it's interesting. I disliked Trump before he even ran for president, so I'm kind of hipster
agreed.
Trump
Totally
hater.
Agree.
Based on his behavior on The Apprentice, I disliked the man. But he is, if you like do your research about how his behavior and how he acted his whole life, this is a man who, bless his heart, lived a privileged life without consequence, where he could do whatever the fuck he wanted, and there was no consequence. And then he ran for president. And I think I may have made the joke on here before, and I do know I've told the story that I had a professor in college who said if you had any thought of being famous or a public figure, watch what you do now. And Trump obviously never cared about that. So he became president, the most scrutinized position in the United States, if not the world. And people are going to dig up shit on you. And if you keep acting like an asshole like you did in your private life, like if you're just a CEO private person, fine. But you go into public service, people are going to dig up shit on you and look at you. You can't be surprised that a man like Donald Trump, politics aside, a man like Donald Trump kept acting like a man like Donald Trump acts, and now he fucked around and he's finding out. Like, you can't, I don't know.
Yeah, because all it takes is somebody with ideals to say, I don't care how much money you have or claim to have, you did wrong by the American people, and we're gonna make an example out of you.
And I would agree, except I wouldn't even say like they're like we're gonna make an example out of you. It's just you fucked up. You did these things, and not to say other politicians haven't done their things like and fucked up, but like he has clearly fucked up. And I think, like I just said, he's lived a life to where he could do whatever the fuck he wants without consequences, which is nice. And to be honest, I think, well, it's a whole other thing. I think he regrets running for public office, personally, because he can't live the life he lived anymore.
No, never again. He's going to be under a magnifying glass for the rest of his life. And, he can try to do this shady shit that he did before, but somebody is going to kick over the rock and see what's going on.
Yep. I remember someone I was talking to said that I should run for, like, not president, fuck that, but like the House or something. And my first thought, I was like, maybe I think I could probably be a good politician. And as I started thinking about it, I was like, my mind went to that. Did I do something?
Yeah.
And I don't even have like a guilty conscience, but I
this
started thinking,
podcast is enough, Mike. to
that's
make
probably
sure
fair. Some of the shit I've said on here, yeah. But I started
somebody will
thinking,
have audio transcripts of our game chats.
Right. Oh, but that's what my mind went to was I probably could be a good like I could probably be good in service, public service, but like who would dig up what on me? And I don't even have a guilty conscience, but like what could they the Kirk Lazarus photos? I don't know, like just
oh yeah, dude, you're done. That's it. You're done.
Yeah, and
you're done.
And so I can't imagine someone like Donald Trump. Like, how do you think you're going to become the president of the United States without people dissecting your life and scrutinizing you and keeping, like you said, a magnifying glass on you? You do anything fucked up, they're going to see it. Why are we surprised by this?
Yeah. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not surprised. The thing that surprised me was like, oh shit, he's actually being held accountable. That's what's surprising me. Like, people are actually going after him.
Yeah. I'd agree with that to an extent.
Because usually it's like, okay, he's not in office anymore. Just fucking let him be. The problem I have with the whole situation is like, one of the news articles I read about this, they did a poll and like they found out that like 2/3 of his supporters said even if he was found criminally guilty, they wouldn't, they would still support him. And I'm like, the fuck? Why?
Yeah, I didn't read that particular article, but I've read things like that. And, I mean, say what you want about the guy. Give him credit where credit's due. He knows how to move people. He knows how to stir emotions, and he knows how to get you riled up. And I still find it bewildering. And I think, because even Mitch on this podcast said out loud that he thinks Donald Trump is a horrible candidate. But, Mitch voted for him because he was the Republican, and that's how Mitch votes. And I'm saying that as a compliment to Mitch, that Mitch knows that Donald Trump is fucking crazy. But I think Trump riled up enough people to join the Republican Party. People that like didn't vote. Like, well, let's go down this road now. Let's go down the Donald Trump road.
Sure.
Indictment aside, let's talk just about Trump's rise to power. I personally think that when Barack Obama took power, and I have my criticisms of Barack Obama.
You should.
Yeah, no, 100%. But I think when he took power, a lot of people in this country kind of thought like, how do I put it? Racism light.
Yeah.
Diet racism. I heard a lot of, I don't like Obama. And you're like, why? I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger.
I don't want to face that version of myself in the mirror.
Yeah, but it's like I can't put my finger on why I don't like him, but I something about him. And I'm not even saying those people were lying. I just think like there's legitimate prejudice that they couldn't realize. But and so I think a lot of people were burying that. And then here comes this guy who right out the bat starts doing that whole, you know, they're sending their rapists, their criminal from Mexico, wants to ban Muslims, and all of a sudden, all these people who were like not engaged in politics because they felt like they were gonna say the wrong thing, were like, that's our guy. And unfortunately, they swarmed the Republican Party to where now the majority of the Republican Party feels like they have to, you know, they have to like cater to these people. Because you know, if you read reports about Republican politicians who in private are like, this is to this day they're like, this is fucking retarded, this is stupid, why are we doing this? But in public they have to cater, they have to make these people happy, to where like, I'm not sure about your dad, but my dad, classic conservative, thought Trump was out of his mind. 'Cause my dad was still alive when he got elected. And he
don't
thought
brag.
But I remember my dad thinking like, this guy is fucking insane. What's he doing? Because my dad was the kind of guy like, conservative as in like, yeah, he was probably mildly homophobic, but like his whole philosophy was like, let me live my life, don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you.
Yeah.
And so when this guy comes out, he's like, what the fuck's it? Like, this guy's insane. He's not a Republican. He's not a Republican. And yeah, and so I'm kind of spiraling down this path, but it's just weird how he rose to power and people are so attached to him. People who are struggling, make less than me and you, barely are able to pay the rent, think that this guy gives a fuck about them.
Yeah.
Like, it amazes me.
Yeah. It always astounds me how the people that are like, the government will lie to you, they don't care about you, and then this guy gets on a mic and they're like, this guy fucking loves me. Oh my God, I trust this guy. He tells the truth. It's like, what happened? What happened to that cynical motherfucker that was here, 6 years ago, and now because, a Cheeto dipped scrotum is president, you're going to start believing him?
Yeah. And what's weird is, and people always say this, like, all politicians lie. And all politicians do lie to an extent, or they bend the truth, whatever. But I've never seen a politician, in our lifetime, so we're talking about the big ones, Obama, Biden, Trump, George W. Bush, and let's include Clinton. We were a little young for Clinton, but let's include Clinton.
Yeah.
I've never seen someone lie so blatantly about easily fact-checked things.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, Obama bent the truth. He lied. George W. Bush, you'd bend the truth. He'd lie. But things that are so easily fact-checkable, this guy lies about. But people dig it, and he somehow convinced people. Like, I almost respect this shit. He's convinced people. What's the, in American Tail, the rat, who was actually a cat, and he said, who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes? Do you not? In American Tail, the movie?
Yeah.
Have you never seen that movie?
American Tail, or was that the Mouse Detective?
No, that was an American Tail.
Oh, okay. I honestly, I don't even think I've ever seen American Tail.
You never... Fievel?
I know Feifel, and I know Feifel goes west.
American Tail was the first one. Fievel goes... Oh,
I know.
All right. Next week's episode, we're going to have to school you. The quote, because an American Tail, if you didn't know, to all our audience members as well, was very much an allegory about Jews leaving Russia. And And there's a quote in it to where a rat, I forgot the rat's name, was pretending to be friends with the mice, but he was really a cat in disguise. And once they figure it out, he's like, who are you going to believe, me or your own eyes, once they see him as a cat? And that's kind of how I feel about Trump. It's like, who are you going to believe? The fucking facts or me? And they pick him.
Yeah. A guy who has no benchmark for telling the truth. There's no there's no data to support him ever telling the truth about anything.
Yeah, and it's really like sad, because I remember in 2016, 15, whatever, like there were some good Republican candidates. Some of whom I preferred over Hillary Clinton, because everyone, if you know me, I fucking hate that bitch. And then even now, the people who are running, there are some of those guys. I'm like, I don't agree with their ideology, but I would vote for them for president.
Sure.
But for some reason, every conservative, the Republicans, are attached to this guy, and I just don't understand why. Like, I don't even know how to express the frustration. It was the same feeling I had with Democrats and Hillary Clinton in 2016.
Yeah. Yeah. There were so many better candidates.
Yeah.
So many better candidates. I think, I honestly believe it came down to money, because that's how you win an election. You win an election with money.
Maybe. But going back to it, he was indicted again.
Yeah.
He wasn't arrested, though?
No. Because he's indicted, he's required to show up. And if he doesn't show up, then they'll arrest him.
Because I know for the other thing, he was like officially arrested. So he flew to New York. He did the whole arrest thing. Then he went home.
Well, so yes and no. When you're indicted, it doesn't mean
indictment is charges have been announced.
Yes, charges have been announced, and you are required to surrender yourself. If you do not surrender,
and that's when you are arrested. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, he's going to Miami on Tuesday for to surrender, and they'll set up an arraignment date where he'll be read the charges against him. If Jack Smith is, well, I don't know if Jack Smith is the judge or if he's just the.
He's the like the attorney.
So he's the one
the
that's
prosecutor.
He's the prosecuting attorney. Okay, so
To my
whoever the
knowledge,
judge is in this case, they will read him his charges. They may even go as far as to say, not so much a gag order.
I heard that, yeah.
But say, hey, don't talk about this. Don't tweet about it. Don't truth about it. You are to remain composed and quiet about this. They did that with the trial in New York. He broke that once, and they said, you do this again, you're going to get a gag order and you're going to be held in contempt.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. All the people that are saying it's a witch hunt, like, is it a witch hunt if you did shit wrong? Like,
well, and that goes back to what I was saying. Like, I think a lot of people were swept up in his. And let's be honest, he has good charisma. Like, he knows how to rile the crowd up, and so it's very easily like, I'll put myself, in this position. In 2015, 2016, I was a Bernie supporter. And when Hillary won the primary, I was very much like, bullshit. This is fucking bullshit. How did Hillary win? No one likes her. Based on the people I talked to, no one likes her. How could possibly Hillary win? Well, yeah, you could do your fucking money sign. Or people were just dumb enough in the Democrat Party to vote for Hillary. And so that was a hard pill to swallow. But that was the pill I swallowed. It was like, enough stupid fucking people voted for that bitch, and she got the nomination. I try to think of all these things. It's like when you're a kid and your favorite sports team doesn't win the game. You try to think of like the refs are against it. You think of all this shit. And so Trump is like the pinnacle of that, to where he couldn't have lost the election. There's no proof, there's no evidence, but like he couldn't have lost, so it must have been rigged. And now with all this shit, people are thinking, or those people are saying like, no, it's a witch hunt. This is all bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Even though a lot of the judges were people he appointed, it's still bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Cognitive dissonance. I'm going to think of any excuse I can think of so that my guy is innocent. And yeah, it's sad.
What's funny is it's not only the judges, it's the head of the FBI was a Trump appointee.
Yep.
The head of the Justice Department was a Trump appointee. And like, it's like, yeah, I mean, if anything, it's a credit to Trump because they're doing their job. They're not just being like, oh, this guy appointed me, so yeah, he's fine.
He actually hired the right people. He hired the good people. Yeah. I don't know.
A lot of like a good tactic for them, and this has always been the case. This deflection tactic, where it's like, well, what about Biden? Sure, put him on trial. If he did something wrong, he doesn't deserve to be president.
Yeah, I agree too.
I don't support Biden like you support Trump. I'm not a part of a cult that worships these people. These people are public servants. They're here to work for us. Why would I worship them? And I think that was Trump's big problem. Was like he thought the president was king. And it's like, dude, no, you're just the head of the public service department. Like, that's what you do. You're not the boss. You work for the people. They don't work for you. So you, like, anybody who has this mentality that I could be the president because, I run a business. You can't run the country like a business. It won't work.
I used to think about it that way, but it's not the same thing at all.
Not even now that you run a business, you can. Yeah, it is not the same thing.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on something like, and people, I've even been accused of the same thing. We're like, oh, would you be so against Hunter Biden? Or like, what do you think about Hunter Biden? And I was like, if the motherfucker is guilty of some shit, charge him. I don't give a fuck. Arrest him. Arrest Joe Biden. I don't give a fuck about them.
Hunter Biden never had any kind of security access or security clearance.
Yeah.
He didn't even go, like, the only reason if he ever was in the White House was to visit his dad. And that was it. Like, he didn't work in the White House. He didn't have any kind of affiliation with the White House other than his dad was in the White House. And this was before even Joe was president. So it's like, what do you think? Like,
and the thing is, like, yeah, Hunter Biden is like a self-confessed crackhead. The dude has said himself, like, he was a crackhead. So he did some shit. Cool. Charge his ass, charge his crackheaded ass, and throw him in jail. But to say that his ass, like, is part of this big conspiracy is fucking stupid. And it's very infuriating. Because to say, and I forgot who I said this to, if it was you or Mitch, like, you look at Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is a lifelong conservative. Voted, I think the number was like 98% along the lines with Donald Trump. So this bitch is a conservative, Republican. Her big crime was simply that she said Donald Trump lost the 2020 election and we should move on. And because of the base that Donald Trump amassed for the Republican Party, they voted her out of her leadership position in the House. And then in her state, they voted her out of office because she had the audacity to simply say that he lost the election.
Yeah.
Like that, kudos to Trump for amassing that kind of fucking cult following.
I mean, I want to give that kudos. I'd give it Kool-Aid, but I wouldn't give it kudos.
I'm just saying, like, I wish I had that kind of talent. That kind of pull.
No, you don't, dude.
Oh, yes, I do. If I could convince that many people of something so absurd, Hell yeah, I'd like that gift. I'm going to throw it back. That's why I don't think the right to vote should be a right.
Should be a privilege.
It should be a privilege that it is earned. Because too
For
many
what?
dumb fucking people vote, huh?
Should you have to take like a civics test in order to vote?
I don't have that answer. You should talk to me. You should talk to me, and I'll decide if you should be able to vote.
No.
No, I actually thought about that. I don't really have like the answer of what kind of questions should be asked and blah blah blah. But I 100% don't think voting should be a right.
So, was it the? I don't remember. I think it was. Was it the 16th or 17th Amendment that like abolished the poll tax and literacy tests?
So I forgot the amendment, but I remember there was like a test to be eligible to vote, but it was like super racist or super prejudiced.
Yeah. So it was part of the Jim Crow era, and the southern states would impose poll taxes and literacy tests. So if you couldn't read, you couldn't vote, and if you couldn't pay, you couldn't vote. So by saying I want a civics test, that doesn't prove if you can read or write. It just proves that you know what the fuck you're doing when you're voting.
Sure. If that, again, I'm not going to say right here, right now that I have a solution or a metric to measure who could vote and who can't. All I know is a lot of these motherfuckers shouldn't vote. And that's not liberal versus conservative or Democrat versus Republican. That is across the line.
Across the line.
Like,
because
a
they're
lot of
idiots
these
on both
people
sides.
should not fucking vote.
Yeah.
And like, I said this to Mitch too. I was like, look at Nancy Pelosi. There's no reason why she should still be in office.
No.
She's done nothing for her fucking her constituents. Okay, so cross it to Republicans. Who the fuck is voting for Marjorie Taylor Greene? Like, there's no reason why she should be.
It's a
voted
bunch
for.
of idiots who think that if they vote for her, like she'll have sex with them.
Maybe, but that's my point. Like, so it's not a partisan thing. Like, there are across the line, like across the aisle, people like they should not be voted for, but they get voted for. How has Mitch McConnell stayed in office for so long? I know Republicans that hate Mitch McConnell. How is he still in office? People vote for him.
Yep.
It should not be a right. I should determine who gets to vote.
I mean, Kevin McCarthy, like, I don't know, like, well, okay, because he's from Bakersfield, and his district is, Bakersfield, and,
Yeah,
half the population there is hooked on meth, so.
that's fair.
Hi, Bakersfield.
Yeah. Anyway, heavy political episode.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up because I want to keep us plugged in to what's going on. I want to keep us,
Finger on the pulse. Yeah, I got you.
finger on the pulse. I'm gonna finger that pulse so hard.
All right, so let's change it up real quick.
Sure.
So we talked about we kind of went on a tangent, but Trump getting indicted. Again.
Let's get serious real quick, Mike. Do you pee when you stand up, or do you stand up when you pee?
I'm not a Capricorn, Danny.
I mean, you don't
Yes, I
have to
stand-
be,
I stand when I pee unless I'm really, really tired.
or drunk.
So I sit in the urinal.
That's comfortable.
Yeah. All right, so let's lighten it up.
Let's lighten the mood. Yeah.
Black people. No.
I'm for 'em.
I'm looking through my little notes here. All right, so here that's an easy one. You're gonna agree with me. That's gonna be too
Come
easy.
on.
You as a bartender or a server, customer orders a drink, you serve it to them. Within 5 seconds, they spill the drink. Alcoholic drink, not a refillable soda. Alcoholic drink.
Okay.
Do you give them another one without charge?
I say first time, yeah. That's just good service. Be like, yo, all right, first one's on me. Cool. Happens again, though, you're paying. And I'd be upfront about it. It might come off like a dick, but at the end of the day, again, I'm not a charity. I'm a business. I'm trying to make money here. So, yeah, I think the first one's free. First one's always free.
Okay. I disagree with you.
Okay, I mean, and you're the business owner. I'm not.
Well, no. So for me, and I may have said this on here. I may have said this on here before. Blah. I've been drinking. I may have said this before, Danny.
Is this a true story?
It's a true story. Having purchased a new vehicle in the last week, had I driven that vehicle off the lot and gotten hit by a truck again, would the dealer go, don't worry about it. We'll give you another one.
No, he would have fucking loved it because that means you're coming right back to buy another car.
That's my point. Is once the drink is yours. Don't get me wrong. I've been in the position as a bartender to where someone ordered a drink, and as I'm trying to serve it to them, something happens. I stumble, I trip, and I spill it. That's my fault. I owe them another drink. But if I give them the drink, and they spill it, it's on them.
Okay. What if it's not on them? What if some dickhead comes along and just knocks over their drink?
Then I would charge him.
That's fair.
Now I will say this is where the rules are bent. It's not their fault. Let's say customer A orders the drink and customer B spills it and hits it, knocks it over, whatever. So I say, hey, customer B, I need you to buy them a drink because you spilled it. And he's a prick. I assume it's a him. He's a jerk, whatever. And he's like, I'm not paying for shit, blah, blah, blah. And he storms off. Then I might, in my good nature, buy the drink for them.
Okay.
But in the situation to where that customer spills their own drink, 100% on them.
And I would say, I would even, there's a lot that goes into that. If it's a regular and they're usually a good tipper or they're not a problem, they're always, well behaved and generous. Absolutely, that's on me. Like, don't worry, I got you. If they're an asshole who come in and do nothing but eat fruit at the bar, or are just loud, obnoxious, and annoying, don't tip, oh yeah, I'm charging you again.
Well, there's always that. There's always the circumstances. But generally speaking, and because when I made that note in my phone, it was because I was covering a bartending shift. This is probably a month or two ago. And that happened. These two women were having drinks. And I made her like, it's like a vodka soda or some shit. I forgot what it was. And I gave it to her, and I was getting ready to like transition to the next bartender because I was just covering till a bartender could get there.
Yeah.
And she knocked her drink over. She did. And a regular of ours was like, hey, Mike, get her another one real quick. Put it on me. And so he understood. The regular understood. Yeah. He was like, get her another one. Put it on me. So I made it. I gave it to her. And she like at some point was like, what? So you're charging him? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, why? And I was like, because he bought this drink for you. And she was like, but like, no, because I had one and I spilled it. Like, you should get me another one. And the conversation kind of went south. It wasn't like a huge thing, but it kind of went south because I explained to her, like, no, like, we gave you a drink and you spilled it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't spill it. I said it politely, but I was like, I didn't spill it. You spilled it. So it's not on me to get you another drink. He bought you another drink. And in the back of my head, I was like, why are you fucking complaining? You're not getting charged again. Like, somebody else got it for again. You.
He offered. I didn't ask him to pay for it. He offered. Just take your drink, take the compliment, shut the fuck up, and have a good time.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's just...
There's no reason to have a debate about this. Like...
Yeah. To me, it's another... I could go on. The whole, like, customer entitlement. I think the whole industry is bullshit anyway. It's my life now.
That industry that you've spent your life in?
Yeah, no. I 100% think the hospitality industry, restaurants, bars, etc., is 100%, 100% bullshit. Mm-hmm. It's stupid. Doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Try working for a Fortune 500 sometime. It's great. They tell you, hey, don't escalate. Just say yes. And then when you do that, they're like, "What? Why did you give them a free drink?" Because you told me to.
I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. I agree. I completely agree. All right, see, that was an easy one. That was an easy one because you kind of came out like you didn't agree with me, but then you agreed with me. So I'm going to take that off my list.
There are certain. It's conditional, right? It depends on the situation.
All right, so classic fake philosophers. I got a grocery gripe. This happened last week.
Okay.
A woman in front of me. Actually, something happened today too. But a woman in front of me was getting a refund because something she bought the week before, from the conversation I heard, had expired. So she took the expired item back to the store. She bought it, to my understanding, she bought it when it was still like in not expired. It was still good. Mm-hmm. But she waited, it expired, and she brought it back. And then the store refunded her.
I
Your
think
thoughts?
Just I mean, honestly, I'm okay with that. And the reason is because I think most stores have that policy that if you buy a good from our store and it expires and you haven't used it, you can bring it back and exchange it for one that's still good. I mean,
but for you, what do you think?
I mean, I don't usually do like that kind of, buy it to save it kind of thing. If I'm buying something at the store, it's to consume within the next 5 to 7 days.
I'm generally the same, yeah.
I don't do that kind of hoarding where it's like, oh, I'm gonna need beans for later this month. No, it's like if I'm buying beans, it's because I'm gonna eat it that week.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see a problem with it. Because generally, like the expiration dates are more like guidelines than hard rules.
Yeah, they say depending on the product. Like if it's a canned product, you probably have another month. If it's meat, it's a little more strict. But yeah.
Yeah. So again, I would say it's conditional, situational. But I don't really have a problem with it because they'll do something with that. They'll take the expired can and do something with that. They'll donate it to a shelter.
Give it to Tiger King.
Give it to Tiger King. They'll I don't know, recycle, like dump out the contents and recycle the can and get 10 cents. I don't know, but they'll do something with that.
Okay. You're a lot nicer than me, apparently.
Well, and like again, like a lot of that, like so, like that food waste can be processed and it can be composted. So they might even do something like that. So they'll take it back in hopes that like, okay, we'll just compost this and help the environment.
And I get that, taking it back for that, but to me, and this is where maybe I'm just a prick, and I'm okay with that idea. Is like, so true story. I picked up some chicken at a local store one day, and literally the same day, opened it to cook it, and it smelled funky. And I looked at the expiration date, and the expiration date was actually the day before. Now, I bought it that day, and so fuck the store for putting out chicken that was already expired, but my dumbass did not check the label. So I did not return it because I did not check the label. It's on the label. Mm-hmm. Like, and don't get me wrong, if I checked the label and it was like expiring a week from that date and it smells like shit, then I'd probably go back to the store and be like, hey, this is what you sold me.
Yeah.
But it was on the package. It expired the day before. Yeah, fuck the store for still putting it out, but I bought it and it was right there. Mm-hmm. So I just threw it away and I was like, that is my bad. So if I bought something and a week passed and then it expired and I want to go back to the store, I don't know, like, I get what you're saying to where like the store probably doesn't have a problem with it. They could probably make something work on their end. But just as a consumer and the morality as a consumer, that bothers me. That there's no like self-accountability.
Yeah.
That's what kind of bugs me. The accountability about it. The self-accountability. I'm going to hold myself accountable because I bought something and I did not use it in time.
I mean, I can see that and how that would bug a lot of people, but at the end of the day, you got to look at it like, okay, is this worth the fight that we're going to have over this?
No, don't get me wrong. If I was in the store and someone returned it, I would probably be like, yeah, just let me return it. Especially fucking all these grocery stores are corporations. Yeah, we could afford to take it back. But I'm just talking about the morality of it, like the ethics of it. Yeah. Where you bought something, you did not use it in time, So you want to go get it returned.
Yeah. So like in like a rationing situation or like a scarcity situation, like you bought this steak, knowing that it had 2 days left before it turned, and you didn't eat it in time. Oh well.
Yeah, it's your
Times is
bad.
tough. Yeah, it's your bad.
If it's on the label
Yeah.
and you took it home, yeah, that's 100% on you.
Yeah.
And you know, and don't get me wrong, like I'm someone who is a chronic abuser of like Amazon returns.
Oh, you and my fiance.
Yeah. But at least Amazon returns don't have like an expiration date to where I can return it and it can be reused. But so if you buy a food product, especially meat, so I think the woman in question, it was meat. So you're gonna buy meat, let it go bad, and I'm not saying she did it on purpose, but she let it go bad, and then try to return it saying this is now bad. Good for the grocery store for taking the return because they did, but like, at what point do we hold ourselves accountable for that?
Yeah. And I'm sure like they have a policy that's like, okay, if it's within like a week, you're fine, but if it's like 30 days, fuck off.
Well, yeah, if you return meat and it has like a fucking hand crawling out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just bothered me.
No, and yeah, I mean, that would probably, I mean, what would bother me more is that you're holding up the fucking line. I
There's
got shit
that
to
too.
do. But I mean, again, and that's probably like the cashier's thing where it's just like, yeah, we'll take it just so we can keep the line fucking moving. We don't want to drop.
Yeah,
this
we'll
out.
we'll eat the $15. Just get the fuck out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, just get it out of here. Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have a huge problem with it. You're always gonna get those entitled people who always have that like, well, you know, I'm a loyal customer, blah 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 blah, and I deserve a refund or an exchange. You're gonna run into that anywhere you go.
Sure.
But for this, I don't see a problem with it.
I'm disappointing you, Denny. We need to take a stand against these people, and you're
No,
just
because, dude,
allowing it to happen.
At the end of the day, you don't want to like waste food, and like they could probably find something to do with that food that
I
this
think-
person cannot.
If it was meat, I 100% think it probably went right into the trash.
It could have. I would hope. First of all, what store was this?
I don't want to say it. It was Vaughn's. It was Vaughn's.
Okay. I don't know about Vaughn's. I don't know if they have a composting program or if they have like all their like.
Can you compost raw meat?
I mean, you can compost anything.
I mean,
Pretty sure.
all right. All right.
No, usually I want to say it's just like fruits and veg, and I mean you could compost eggshells. I don't know. That's actually a good question. Jamie,
Jamie.
can you compost raw meat? Jamie's gonna find out right now.
Thank you. He'll get back to us. Yeah, so that's my grocery gripe of the week. We disagree on it, which is good. We shouldn't agree on everything. I think I'm just generally more harsh on customers than you are, which surprises me coming from your background.
All right, so Jamie, what do you got? Okay. So yeah, Jamie says you can, but it's best practices to avoid meat and dairy scraps, and always bury food scraps deep enough within the compost pile.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Thanks, Jamie.
Thank you, Jamie. Yeah. I don't like that you're enabling people now.
I'm not enabling anybody to do
You
anything.
are
I don't
enabling people.
Own a store
You are
or
saying
run a
that it's
store.
okay. It's okay for you to take expired food that you fucking
I
waited.
said it's-
You're saying it's okay to take expired food back to the store when you wasted it.
I'm saying it's okay for the store to give that person a refund.
Same thing. You're politicianing this.
Well, don't put words in my mouth. Say what I said, God damn it.
You said it's okay for people to bring back expired food.
I did not say that.
They let expire.
I did not say that. I never said that. I said
You-
it's okay for the store to give a refund for it.
Which means it's okay for them to bring it back.
I didn't say that. Now you're just splitting hairs, Mike. Now you're just coming up with these tangents, this fake news.
I don't like the side of you.
You called down the thunder, Mike.
Don't like it.
Now you got to deal with it.
You want chaos, Danny. You want disorder. Yes. You want anarchy.
I'm an agent of chaos. Introduce a little anarchy.
I will say today, this bitch in the store pissed me off. She was in line, lots of items. I was also in line with lots of items. And about halfway through being rung in, she told the cashier, like, I forgot my wallet. And I was
this was in the chat.
Yeah, I posted it. I was like, the fuck? And she was like, I forgot my wallet, but like my daughter lives down the street. Maybe she can come get me money. In my head, I was like, how did you fucking not realize you didn't have your wallet till halfway in this fucking process? I do the taps, right?
Uh-huh.
The guy taps.
Mm-hmm.
Right pocket, left pocket, back pocket.
Yep.
With customization depending on the guy.
Yeah.
Keys, phone, wallet.
Mm-hmm.
Do women not have the same thing?
No, they have a purse.
Kind of my point.
You're married.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much shit is in that thing? So they don't have time to go spelunking in their purse to find everything that they need in the moment.
You are not. I do not recognize you tonight. You're defending every wrong thing. This woman was in line halfway through getting rung in.
I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions, Mike.
And so when I actually posted that in the chat was like when she brought it up, and I was like, oh fuck this bitch. And the way the cashier was kind of like, okay, I'll finish ringing you up, and then I'll just push you aside to win. I guess the daughter was gonna come to the store to pay, but they actually finished ringing everything up and like put it aside in a cart so that nothing got held up. So at the time I thought like, I'm gonna really, all my shit's already on the belt, I'm gonna have to sit here for another fucking 10 minutes. But it was resolved. What made me laugh after that, so that happened, and then the guy bagging my groceries had a mask on, which is fine, and he was coughing, but he was coughing into his like his arm, his elbow, like that. Yeah. For those watching, I'm demonstrating. But he had a mask on.
It's just one of those habit things, dude.
I know, but it just made me laugh. I was like, dude.
I have students that still wear masks, and like they'll take their mask off to sneeze into their hands. And I'm like, wait, what are you doing?
Okay, so that is kind of weird, but I get it to where like you don't want the shit on the mask. I sort of get that. My point is this guy was coughing and he did the motion into his arm with the mask still on.
That shit is just your reptilian brain going, oh yeah.
And I respected it and I appreciated the courtesy either way. Mm-hmm. But it was just kind of funny to me. I was like, dude, like,
yeah, you're wearing a mask. You're fine. Don't worry about it.
You're good.
But, like,
I'm not tripping.
It's just one of those things. It's like, you ever do this? Like, you'll be driving. This happened a lot. Leaving from Chafee and going back down Milliken. You make that hard right turn from Wilson to Milliken, and it's just it's ingrained in your head to just put on your blinker. But it's like,
even though you have no choice, yeah.
Even though you have no choice,
yeah.
I do that constantly, and it's just like, what are you doing? I'm making a 90-degree turn. I have to put on my blinker.
Gotta let people know.
That's it.
Cover your bases.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's just that muscle memory, that reptilian brain kind of taking over and just being like, this is what we do in this situation. Do it now.
Sure. That makes sense. It just made me laugh. That's all.
No, it's funny as fuck. It's like, because everybody watching is like, what a fucking idiot. But it's like, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And not even realize it.
Yep. All right. I think we're good. Last question.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
Who would you rather run for the Democratic Party other than Biden?
Because
we have the Republicans. Who would your one pick for the Democrats right now?
Fuck. There is a congressman from California that I really like. I can't remember his name. I want to say it's like Newell or something like that.
Okay.
He's pretty good. Honestly, I don't know if she would, because she's pretty divisive, but AOC would be fun. Just to get some young blood in. I don't even think she's old enough, really, to.
I think she has to be over 35, right?
You have to be 35, yeah.
Yeah, she's not over 35.
I'd say Bernie, but God, we need to get the fossils out of the White House.
I like Bernie too, but his time's passed.
His time has passed. He needs to like get an apprentice. You know what? I would say Kamala, but Kamala's done some not so great things in California.
I don't like Kamala.
So yeah, and I mean she's kind of been a do nothing bitch as a vice president. Not that like there's never been like the great vice presidents. They're always just like, yeah, I'm just riding coattails. I think Kamala was just like, oh, he's gonna die one day, and then it's gonna be me.
That's fair. All right, pick a Republican. Not necessarily in the race already, just a Republican.
A Republican, Adam Kinzinger.
Okay.
Good head on his shoulders. Liz Cheney, if we're going the female route, I like what she's done. We don't agree on everything, but she's a decent politician. She's got a good head on her shoulders. I would say if any of them are MAGA, fuck them. They don't know. But there are still,
I'd agree.
Some decent Republicans that aren't drinking the Kool-Aid. That would have my vote if it came to it.
Okay. Kind of curious. And then, in your opinion, how did the Democrats steal the 2020 election?
How did they steal it?
Yeah.
Dude, it's crazy. Like, I don't have like my map with strings. So I'll try to sum it up as best I can. They did this thing called activism and getting the word out, and motivated people to go to the polls and vote.
Sounds like a bunch of liberal bullshit to me. Yeah. Sounds like a bunch of bullshit to me. On that note. Last words, Danny. You take them.
Codswallop.
For the episode. Like, not your last word.
Butterscotch. Sea weevil. Poopy butthole. Malarkey.
Your blurred background is glitching.
Yeah. Those are my last words.
Okay. That's fine. And, yeah. Okay. That's it.
Thank you, guys. We will see you next time.
Recording stopped. Stop recording. There we go.